Good morning, good evening to Power Wrestlers video. I'm Sam Creeper, and today I am going to be telling you the entire timeline of Welcome to Dreamworld because of the Rainbot Dreamworld timeline contest thing. Anyways, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So, in the future, now I know it's weird to be starting the timeline at something that's closer to the end of it, but also this sort of impacts the start of it. So there were two brothers named Edmund Avidmiser and Agnes Avidmiser. They lived at a small workshop near the outskirts of the city. They had to get scrap, make them into machines, and sell it. Agnes was content with it, but Edmund was not. Their mother warned them to never go far from the city. She would later pass away. Very sad. Anyways, Edmund would go exploring outside of the city one day. While he was exploring, he comes across a strange man named Xavier, who is actually something called a great traveler. From what I can understand, great travelers are when stars come into contact with souls or something like that. I don't know, average things. So Xavier reveals to Edmund that he is exploring other worlds and that he is gathering soul essence to fuel a device so he can open more gateways. Edmund gets excited at this and starts telling Xavier all the things he could do with this new information. But Xavier then warns Edmund that essence, like soul essence, should not be used by humans. So Xavier then vanishes, but Edmund becomes fixated on building a portal to access other worlds. So Edmund starts to experiment with souls, but during his experiments, his body would start to decay and deform. Edmund also let Agnes assist him in the experimentations. Edmund manages to open a gateway, but Agnes is horrified when he learns that human souls were used to open the portal. Edmund and Agnes fight, causing them both to fall into the portal. Agnes's soul gets torn apart from the inside out, but Edmund is able to hold on to a fragment of Agnes's soul. The portal has created a rip in the fabric of time, which makes Edmund travel to a different point of time. Edmund plans to keep the fragment of Agnes's soul alive by feeding it souls. So Edmund finds this one family, and he changes his name to Litho, and he decides to give the family a video camera. Now, this is in the 18th century now, so that's why I said it starts at both the end and the beginning of the timeline. Now, of course, being people of the 18th century, we have no idea what the heck a video camera is. So they just assume that it's a silly little magic artifact, and they keep it a secret. But in order to have access to this, they also have to sign a contract with Litho. What exactly the contract does, we don't really know yet. And so one day, we get Allison, this little boy. But Allison's father, at some point, tries to break Litho's contract, which makes Litho angry. Anyways, Allison then becomes 10 years old, and Litho passes the camera down to him. Litho also says that Allison needs to learn to play his song on the violin so that Litho can be set free. Anyways, a monster appears in Allison's home. We don't know why it's there or how it got there, but it's there. I don't know what it is, I'm gonna be honest. It's just monster for monster's sake. Anyways, but underneath the mansion that Allison is at, Litho builds a body for Agnes called the Collector. The Collector is designed to store souls inside of it. Anyways, at some point, Allison's family's mansion gets destroyed, the ground beneath it collapses, Allison dies and becomes a ghost, and he protects the spirit realm from Litho because Litho wants to build a portal again. Anyways, now we go all the way forward to 1980, where we meet a man named Carlos Nicholson. He builds a recreational arcade called the Nickel Per Play, and it's over a cave system in Ohio. Carlos had a wife named Lucy, but she died. Very sad. And a son named Owen. One day, Carlos explores the cave system under the arcade, and discovers the collector along with Allison's camera. So Carlos would then try to search for immortality, but would be killed. We don't know exactly what killed him, but I think it's implied that Litho does. But seeing as the owner of the nickel per play arcade kinda died, it gets shut down. Anyways, so Owen then gets a daughter. We don't know the name of the daughter yet, but we will later along with another revelation, but we're gonna get there. Some point after that, there is this little girl named Sarah Covetman. She is out in the Happy Hollows, picking flowers and stuff, but then 3 second grade bullies started, bullying her, as you do when you're a bully. Then Sarah kinda loses it and pushes one of the kids off of a cliff. And I'm not sure exactly what killed the other 2 kids. It seems to be juggling between either she pushed them off a cliff as well, or she set them on fire. I don't know. Anyway, so Sarah never again speaks of this event. But also, Litho begins to haunt Sarah, like the spooky guy he is. Anyways, remember that daughter that I told you about a few seconds ago? Well, we don't know exactly when, but eventually that daughter experiences gender dysmorphia and decides to become a guy. It changes his name to Wyatt Nicholson. Anyways, so now we have Eric Gale. He has dementia. Oh noes. But he's very passionate about engineering. And at 20 years old, he enrolls in an engineering university. But his dementia kinda makes it hard to work, because it's hard to study and stuff when you forget things. But at 22 years old, Eric finds a newborn baby left at his doorstep. Who left it there? Who knows? But he decides to take care of the baby and names her Carly. So at 25 years old, Eric is working at a library. We don't know exactly when he started working there, but yeah. Now let's skip away from the Gale family for a bit and go to the Acrimony family, consisting of older brother Oliver Acrimony, little brother Ben Acrimony, and little sister Liz Acrimony, and 2 parents who are unnamed. But eventually their parents leave them, and Oliver is forced to take care of his little siblings. Anyways, back to Eric. At 30 years old, Eric is now teaching an engineering class at a high school. Now at the high school, we go back to Sarah Covetman, who manages to befriend another person named Louis Bright, and also Oliver Acrimony. They become a friend group, and they end up in the same engineering class that is taught by Eric. Also, we don't know exactly when this started happening, but Louis befriends Wyatt and they start dating. So the trio are in a contest to win an entire warehouse and a whole bunch of money. They win, but the warehouse is all the way on the other side of Ohio. And also, it was built where Allison's manor was. I'm sure this will never have any consequences. But Louis has to leave Wyatt, but Wyatt promises that if something ever happens to Louis, he'll go find him. So the trio starts building a children's entertainment center called the Dreamworld Entertainment Facility. We are finally welcomed to Dreamworld! Louis also hires Eric to be an engineer at the facility. Anyway, Sarah eventually starts to lose her mind a bit. She starts to study how to gain immortality. She also frequently locks herself in her office and talks with the ghost of Carlos. Remember him? He's dead, but now he's a ghost. Sarah starts experimenting with, soul stuff, and she ends up breaking free of the initial animatronics. Free of 13 animatronics that were going to be in the place. But technically she broke 4, but 2 of them are counted as the same animatronics, so I don't know. These animatronics get decommissioned, and it's not confirmed right now, but it's implied that they might be possessed by the ghosts of the bullies that Sarah killed. But I don't know, that's just speculation. Carlos also possesses the Winnie animatronic, so Sarah decides to make Winnie a personal assistant. But there's a problem. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Winnie was gonna be the mascot for the arcadescape level of the building. Now that he can't be a mascot, who's going to mascot this arcadescape? Well, luckily, at the time they were working on some small little helper bots that wouldn't be themed to anything. They would just be silly little helper robots. They had only made 3 of them at the time, and they decide, hey, you know what? What if we just, give them some colorful paint and then make them the mascot of the arcadescape? And that is how we got the triplets. So at some point, Sarah encounters Lifo again, and she signs a contract with him. While developing the animatronics, Oliver puts a security protocol into the animatronics. He doesn't get to finish it, but he starts. So Eric starts snooping around a bit. Snooping as usual, I see. And he finds out that, hey, Sarah's doing some really sketchy stuff here. So he gets some secret files and hides away in Lewis's house in Happy Hollow. However, Winnie is not much happy with this, so he sets the house on fire. Winnie then takes Eric's soul and body away. Now, 2 months before the facility opens, Winnie just goes up and kills Lewis, and manages to put his soul into the Starlight animatronic. Then, Winnie puts Eric's soul into the Ribbon Dancer animatronic. However, unbeknownst to him, he somehow split Eric's soul into 2 beings. There's Eric, Eric's ghost, and then some other guy. We don't really know. Anyways, now to another character we never saw before, Mike. Not Michael Schmidt, no, Mike. This guy, the guy on screen. So he signs up to work at Dreamworld, and he befriends another worker named Alyssa. Mike has nowhere to stay because his parents didn't like the fact that he was trans, so Alyssa decides that, he can stay at her place. I'm sure nothing bad will ever happen to them. Anyway, so Mike ends up getting close to finding out, some of the terrible things Sarah does, so Winnie goes and just throws him into a trash compactor. Mike then possesses Rex. So Winnie then kills 3 lost children named John, James, and Jake. So these 3 kids end up possessing the triplets. Sarah realizes, oh shit, we're killing children now. This is no good. She tries to break the contract with Lifo. This makes Lifo very angry, so he then decides to possess Sarah. Remember Carly, Eric's daughter? Well, she's a ripe old teenager now, and she goes to Dreamworld Carly goes to Dreamworld so she can find Eric. She also finds out that the company has special instructions for when she arrives, and she is given a scavenger hunt. She goes around the whole facility collecting the items. It goes to a storage room to find the last item, but Winnie enters there and kills her. And Carly then possesses Cheer. At some point, Alyssa was killed, and she ends up possessing Glory. Remember Oliver's young siblings, Ben and Liz? Well, they get killed by Lifo. Womp womp. They end up possessing Lollipop. Now, this is a bit weird, but Owen then, reopens Nickel per Play. What makes this so weird is that in one episode of the series, Wyatt says that his parents died when he was pretty young. But in one of the secrets in the Dreamworld website, it says that Owen reopens Nickel per Play sometime after Dreamworld is opened, so I guess maybe only his mother died when he was young? I don't know. Anyways. So Owen also tries to find immortality, but ends up dying. Implied to have also been by Lifo. Womp womp. Next, remember Allison? Yeah, his ghost is roaming the facility now. Now, let's cut to another guy, Damien Klein. He's a bit weird. He's got a purple eye that lets him see ghosts. Whoa. Allison manages to contact Damien and tells him that, hey, people are kind of dying at this facility. You should go, investigate it, because you're a detective. That's what detectives do. They detective all over the place. So Damien tries to get information from Oliver, but, Lifo's trying to stop him. At some point, Oliver goes and gets some evidence against Lifo to show Damien, but Lifo was prepared. He set up this makeshift TV trap, and it kills Oliver. Womp womp. I'm just gonna do that every time someone dies. Anyways, Litho makes an entirely new species called Twimblos, and they are part of his plan to steal energy from souls. Anyways, Lewis has recently gone missing, so Wyatt goes to Dreamworld to find him. He is 20 years old at this point, and he joins the Dreamworld Entertainment facility team as a technician. He quickly befriends the Starlight animatronic, who gives him a tour of the facility. Anyways, we cut to 3 months later. Oliver puts a virus in the facility, which causes the electronic device to go haywire and the building collapses. The virus only seems to really infect machines that have souls in them. So at this point, all of the animatronics in the facility are infected with the virus except for Lolly, Ribbon Dancer, and Starlight. Now, the infected animatronics have a bit of a glitch in them where they see all humans as Sarah. And right now, they are trying to kill Sarah, which is not good. Anyways, Rainbot, the creator of the series, they're canon now. Wyatt has been giving his recordings to Rainbot, and Rainbot has been uploading them online. But the Dreamworld Entertainment team is telling them to say that all the uploads are fictional, and they're also planning on sending an animatronic to make sure that the uploads stop. During a confrontation, Pop infects Starlight with the virus by putting it into his blue mask, and Pop, then sends the triplets out to go kill Wyatt, but Wyatt finds out that the virus has a kill code, which is the word quixotic. He manages to uninfect the triplets, and then he goes down to the Starlight Theater, or Starlight, or whatever it is. He manages to get the blue mask off of Starlight, which uninfects him. Now Damien goes back to the Dreamworld facility to investigate some more. Then Wyatt, Starlight, Ribbon Dancer, and the triplets encounter Lollipop and Rex in Trampoland. Wyatt ends up falling through the floor and into Sea Venture after an attack by Rex. But Litho, that evil little guy, he confronts Wyatt and pushes him into Glory's pool. Oh, great heavens! Litho gets Oliver to use as bait for Damien. Some kind of mechanical creature enters Rainbot's home. Some mechanical assistants have been entering people's homes to steal their souls. That's not good! Anyways, Allison manages to rescue Wyatt from Glory, and Wyatt then manages to uninfect Glory. And Litho is now wearing a goat mask. Make it seem like he isn't a human. Well, Litho is kind of a demon, but he's also possessing Sarah, who is a human, so Litho's working with Winnie, and they team up with Pop, Cheer, and Rex to, kill Wyatt. So then Cheer and Pop announce that if Sarah, quotation marks Sarah, isn't brought to them in 3 hours, they're gonna kill Oliver. Oh dear! So Wyatt leaves Glory to go search for Oliver, and he ends up finding one of the decommissioned animatronics named Nightlight. Rex then ambushes them, but Wyatt manages to uninfect Rex. So we don't know exactly when, but at some point after the facility collapsed, 3 of the workers, Audrey, Hayden, and Penn, find a little girl named Hazel in the facility, and she's being protected by Nightlight. But the workers are then ambushed by the other decommissioned animatronics. They are able to get the little girl to her mother, and the decommissioned animatronics follow her. But then Wyatt and Rex run into Winnie, but he says that he wants to betray Litho. So Winnie tells Wyatt that he needs to release the Collector. Yeah, remember him? You big spider guy? I mentioned him once. No, actually twice, but he's relevant again. Pop and Oliver then have a heart-to-heart, and Pop lets Lolly uninfect him. Damien then runs into Star, Ribbon Dancer, and the triplets, but then we also encounter a Twimblo! Wyatt and Rex then confront Litho, and everyone else shows up as well. But Eric regains control of Ribbon Dancer, and he has a heart-to-heart with Cheer, and he's able to remove a virus from her. But Litho runs away into the lower levels of the facility. Oh no! Wyatt tries to follow him, but Star tries to stop him. But then Star's rail breaks, and the both of them, along with the Twimblo, fall into the lower levels. Oh dear! So they decide to explore the lower levels, and Wyatt decides to name the Twimblo Oddity. Then Wyatt and Star discover the room where all of the bodies are kept. So Wyatt manages to reattach Starlight to his beam. Then Wyatt, Starlight, and Oddity go into the caves and wake up the Collector. However, Litho encounters Allison and traps him in his violin. Oh, great heavens! Wyatt manages to have the Collector destroy the caves, which prevents Litho from escaping. Starlight and Oddity then open a hole in the Collector, which frees all the souls inside, including the ghost of Agnes. Remember him from the beginning? Yeah, anyways. Then Litho catches up with them. Litho then uses his powers to put Wyatt in a coma and teleports Oddity to Watchful Eye Toys. Litho then starts to rebuild the facility. Also, at this point, Winnie has killed Rainbot. Womp womp. Anyways, Winnie uses a website to gaslight people into thinking that Dreamworld was around in the early 2000s. It wasn't, but barely anyone stopping him. Litho then reopens the Dreamworld Entertainment Facility. Litho has Winnie erase all of the animatronics' memories, but Starlight is able to convince Winnie not to erase his memories. But also, because there's 2 souls possessing Ribbon Dancer, the memory wipe doesn't completely work on him. Litho decides to let Wyatt, keep working at the facility. Damien and Oliver are crashing at Damien's sibling's house. His sibling is named Celio. They're an older sibling. Wyatt also decides to stay there with them. Damien comes up with a plan to regain the animatronics' memories, but they have to show them things that are personal to them. Hazel manages to get the violin that Allison was trapped inside, and she plans to explore the facility to learn more about the ghosts that are possessing the decommissioned animatronics. After learning about all the bad stuff that Sarah has done recently, Celio decides to go to confront her at Dreamworld. This will not end well, I think. Hazel and Nightlight then sneak into Dreamworld and they get some classified files. Celio confronts Sarah but finds out that this is no longer Sarah, it's Litho now. Litho then sends Starlight after Celio, and Starlight manages to capture Celio. And now Litho announces to Norman, who is the new CEO of Watchful Eye Toys, that Celio is going to be killed on Sarah's birthday, and that they will need Celio's soul to power a new animatronic. Now, at some point, a worker at Watchful Eye Toys is killed. We don't know exactly when this happened, or if they were exactly a worker. Someone is killed, and they possess the Morris animatronic. Watchful Eye Toys is holding an event called Amazing Automation, where fans can help build a new animatronic. This animatronic ends up being Astro the Owl. Morris and Oddity then discover that Norman is actually a robot. Oh, great heavens. For a while, Wyatt has been trying to reveal that some really terrible, spooky stuff's happening at Dreamworld, but no one cares. Womp womp. Then Wyatt finds out that Celio disappeared and he goes to Dreamworld to find them. So Wyatt finds out that Litho and Winnie have captured Celio, but Litho tells Wyatt to leave. But while Wyatt is trying to leave, Litho activates the animatronic security protocols, making them try to hunt Wyatt down. Anyways, after a lot of running, Wyatt gets into Star Act. Starlight then attacks Winnie so Wyatt can get away to find Celio. Wyatt finds Celio when Damien and Oliver also arrive, and the ghosts possessed by animatronics find out that they're actually robots, not whimsical creatures. So Wyatt, Celio, Damien, and Oliver go back home, and they also find a camera that belonged to Carly before she died. Watchful Eye Toys announces that Morris and Astro are going to be brought to the Dreamworld Entertainment Facility as guest animatronics. So in Season 2, we're going to get to see more of silly Morris! Yippee! And most recently, we find out that someone has taken over the job of uploading Wyatt's recordings onto YouTube. Who is it? We don't know yet, but my theory is that it's going to be Xavier. So if you look at the opening part of the Season 2 prologue, a lot of Mysterious Speaker's mannerisms are similar to Xavier's. Yeah, you made it to the end of a timeline! Wow, that only took, about 30 minutes. But it's 30 minutes of me cramming your head with knowledge. So now you know the whole story of a franchise that you don't really, that's like, now you know the whole story of this silly little analog horror series. You could have used your brain cells for something more important, like all the thousands of species of jellyfish on this earth, but it's now filled with silly robots. Now, so anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I win, but if I don't win, that's okay. But at the same time, I haven't been entirely truthful with you. Well, I've been kind of hiding a secret this whole video. I'm not the real Sam the Creeper. Who am I, you ask? I am